Alright, I'm finally back with another collection update video. Can't believe I've not made one since I think the end of last year, but yes, I've just been exhausted with like work and stuff, but I decided I thought about not even doing these videos anymore and just posting as like a picture, but decided, fuck it, let's just do it. And yeah, I'm back now, and I'm gonna show you off all the physical media I've purchased the first half of 2026. So yeah, I have 3 cassette tapes, 14 CDs, 14 DVDs, 11 Blu-rays, and 5 4K Ultra HDs. So, I'm gonna start with the cassettes, which I never really got cassettes before. I think we had some when I was a kid, but yeah, and like a couple months ago, I found an old cassette player that someone just left outside my work, and I decided to take it. And yeah, I don't have like speakers for it, but one side works, the other side doesn't. But I ordered a boombox that has like CD, cassette, and Bluetooth, so that should be coming pretty soon. So yeah, very cool. But yeah, I got 3 cassette tapes from 3 Hive at Kilby Block Party when I went there in May. I found the cassette player a few days before that, and started off with 3 albums I really like. 2 of which I already have on CD, but decided why not get another copy. So we've got Blue Rev by Alvvays. And yeah, this is an album I listen to a lot. Yeah, anything in there? I haven't been listening to Always as much lately, but I do still like them a lot. I think Anti-Socialites is my favorite album from them. I think they had it on CD when I went there, but I decided to pass because it was a bit expensive for what I was willing to pay. Yeah. Yeah, this is the one I did not have on CD, but I have it on cassette now. I do have Teen Dream on CD, though. Yeah. Great album. Yeah, and probably get some other Beach House albums sometime, like Bloom, Depression Cherry, Once Twice Melody. Yeah, the last cassette I got is actually my favorite album of all time, so pretty happy to have this one. And they had other Elliott Smith CDs that I was gonna get, but decided against it because, again, like, price thing. I only wanted to spend like $100. Yeah. So yeah, so we could start to my cassette collection. And yeah, let's move on to the CDs. First of which also came from 3 Hive, and yeah, I really like this album. I've fallen in love with this band the past couple years, and yeah, this is my favorite album I've heard from them so far. I do want to get Meriwether Post Pavilion song lyrics in here. Maybe, yeah. These next two I got from their respective artists' stores. Yeah. Another artist I've fallen in love with lately. Love Takes Miles and $0 were my two most listened to songs of last year. Yeah. Geese is not best design, but fuck it, we ball. And speaking of Cameron Winter, this is his band, Geese, were my number one artist of last year. And I did get Getting Killed on CD from Barnes and Noble last year, but I want to get this as well because both albums are pretty fucking fantastic, along with heavy metal. Yeah, this one is really interesting. I found this at Target. They had like a whole display of it, which is not something I expected from a 30-year-old album, but it is the anniversary, so yeah. And this is pretty classic rap album. I haven't listened to it a lot, but yeah. I was listening to like the Blueprint a lot last year. Yeah. I don't know about Jay-Z as a person, but he made some pretty great rap music. Yeah, this next one came from Barnes and Noble. Yeah. It's a great album. I remember this album, Jaden Smith's album, and the Flatbush Zombies album that came out the same day as this. For some reason, I was only listening to those three albums for like a month when I was a senior in high school. But yeah. Oh, we got a poster or something? Very cool. But yeah, this is fond memories listening to those albums. These next few came from the library book sale, which all the next few are either movie soundtracks or greatest hits. So yeah. And fun fact, see from the music library of Jenny Bradley, Wise Up by Amy Mann was, I think it was written for this movie, but they ended up not using it. But then they went on to be in another Tom Cruise movie with Magnolia, which is, of course, one of my favorite movies. Yeah. There's cool songs here. Another soundtrack. There's some cool songs here. Really good Christmas movie. The one by Sugar Babes is interesting. It interpolates like a French song that my dad likes. Yeah. Not the Justin Timberlake song there though. Yeah. Yeah, this is a good band from the 80s. Greatest hits albums kind of growing on me. I kind of think they're like boring when they're just sequenced in like chronological order, but I mean, when the songs are great, the songs are great. This next one is just a source of that. Michael Jackson. Amazing. Yeah. I did see the Michael Jackson movie in IMAX, and it was a decent movie. I mean, acting was good. Yeah, of course. CD1 is up to Thriller, and CD2 is post Thriller. Yeah. This is an interesting one. Saw this and like I think these are songs that are like inspired by the movie, which is interesting. Yeah, it says hey, there's a Björk song on here. That's crazy. Yeah, it's just Dreams by the Cranberries and Danny Elfman's score. But other than that, and the theme from Mission Impossible. Other than that, these are not in the movie. It's a very cool artifact from the 90s. And nowadays you don't even you can just make a Spotify playlist. It's crazy. All right, this next one came from Savers. Yeah, this is obviously a very classic album. Yeah. Plastic case kind of broke, but that was kind of my fault. So, but yeah, $3 for obviously an iconic album. Not a bad deal at all. This next one came from Three Hive. I do have Rodeo on CD. I remember listening to this album like when I was starting college, and so yeah, it's a lot of nostalgia. Yeah. Next one, also a library book sale. U2's a pretty good band. I don't listen to them a lot, but I like what I heard. Yeah. And this is the last CD I got, which came from Three Hive. Yeah, this is one of my favorite albums ever. I mentioned it when I got the Heart to Glow album from Bought the Noble last year, but yeah. Very happy to have this. And that's it for the CDs. Now move on to the DVDs. Which the first one I got from Savers. Oh yeah, shout out Savers. I just went there for the first time last week and got a bunch of stuff. Yeah, I'm very happy to have. And I'm gonna peak Catherine O'Hara. It's very sad that happened. Yeah, I watched this movie around the time like Fred Willard died, and I definitely do want to rewatch and Christopher Guest's other movies, which I have one more to show later, but for now, we got two more that came from the library book sale. And I saw this movie a few years ago, and I think it was pretty good. Song about this and Rasputin's music in Newark, California. Interesting. Yeah. Also, I saw this movie a long time ago. I'll definitely need a rewatch because giving Robert Altman's work another shot. Yeah, cool find. This next one came from Barnes and Noble. I've heard really good things about this movie, but I've not seen it yet. But yeah, $5 for this one. Very good deal. Ugh. Next one came from Savers. Watched this movie a couple years ago. It's an epic, of course. And this next one came from the library book sale. Yeah. I have not seen this one, but it seems very interesting. Excited to give it a shot. And former rental from the library. And next one came from Savers. Yeah, and it's a good find. I watched this movie a couple years ago and really enjoyed it. Sweet. And the next three are from library book sales. And I watched this documentary when I was in high school in my art class and that was really good. Glad to have it. Yeah. It's another Nick Cage movie that I've seen this one a couple times and it's a fun movie. Yeah, this one I haven't seen, but heard really good things about. So definitely check it out sometime. Yeah, this is a reprint. I think it's from like 2012, the disc art. Yeah, very interesting. Yeah, I think this was brand new when I got it as well. It says 2000 on the back, but yeah, anyway, this next one comes from Savers. Yeah, and I have this on VHS as well. I think there was like some other ones. Oh yeah, Best in Show and Gosford Park. I also have, and Lawrence of Arabia actually. I had those on VHS, but now I have them on DVD. So yeah, very cool. This is an HBO DVD, but this movie's now owned by Focus Features. Yeah, hilarious movie. And yeah, next two came from Grey Whale and are also upgrades from VHS copies. Yeah. And this is a classic, of course. Definitely glad to have it on disc. And it's another great movie. Shout out Paul Newman and Sidney Lumet. I got one more DVD, which came from Savers. This one will shut. Gravity. This one was actually brand new when I got it. I think we actually used to have a DVD of this DVD, but it got lost when we moved a long time ago. And no booklet, interestingly. Yeah, this is a full screen DVD, which I didn't realize, but yeah, I might give this to my mom and get like a widescreen DVD at some point. But for now, I watch. That's it for the DVDs. Man, I got that at Savers, if I didn't say it. Now we're moving on to the Blu-rays, which the first two I got at Smith's Marketplace. Yeah, and this is a great movie. Saw it in theaters and opening weekend. Really enjoyed it. Shout out Yorgos. I think he's taking a break from movies for a bit, but I mean he's earned it. Put out a bunch of bangers past few years. Yeah. Yeah, this is the pretty underrated movie in my opinion. Saw it in theaters and it was definitely a new comfort movie. Yeah. Alright, this next one came from the A24 store. And yeah, I watched this movie on HBO Max like a while ago and really enjoyed it. Decided to get it. Yeah, A24 is cool stuff. I might get some more stuff from there soon because I have like a bunch of credits. Yeah, here's some photos. Yeah, there's little like screenplay things on the back. Oh show. It was like time and stuff. But yeah, very interesting movie. I think it was nominated for like best makeup at the Oscars. I think it could have been nominated for more. Yeah. Anyways, these next four come from Grey Whale. Yeah. I saw this movie in theaters and I thought it was pretty awesome, but haven't seen it since. I don't know if we're getting a sequel to this. I think it would be cool if we did, but heard mixed things. I definitely want to watch this again sometime. Yeah. Now I own all the Fast and Furious movies that I like. This one is definitely one. Catch up on all the action. Yeah, I have like all the main ones on digital. I don't have Hobbs and Shaw yet, but I don't really like that movie, so I'm probably not gonna get it. Yeah, this was cool to find like a Criterion at Grey Whale that I wanted. I've not seen this movie, but it sounds like it's up my alley, so to get it. I do have more Criterions that I'll show. And the Criterion flat sale at Barnes and Noble has started. I did go there today, but I decided I'm gonna wait to show what I got until after it's over. Yeah, I saw this movie in theaters. It was pretty decent. First was kind of maudlin, but yeah. But I was obsessed with George Michael after seeing this movie. Yeah. Alright, this next one came from Barnes and Noble, and I do have the DVD of this movie. Is like four film favorites Jim Carrey, but I decided to get this because I am a fan of this movie, and it's just the stuff you get from Arrow Video. I got a poster here. Yeah, the mask. And I thought this was the first movie to use the iconic New Line logo, but apparently in theaters it used like the old logo, which I can't even imagine, but yeah, I got some more photos here. Arrow video. Excalibur on the back. Yeah. Alright. Bit tired. The horrors persist, but so do I. This next one came from Criterion when they did their flash sale back in March. I watched this movie on HBO Max for the first time earlier this year, and I thought it was fantastic. There's nothing under there, unfortunately, but yeah, definitely recommend this one if you haven't seen it. This next one was last two actually came from Barnes and Noble. Yeah, it's another one I have on DVD, but so I get the Arrow video release because it's fun. Carlito's Way. Normal cover. Yeah. One more. It's another Darren Aronofsky movie. Saw this movie in theaters with my mom, and it was pretty good. And shout out Brendan Fraser for winning an Oscar after all he's been through. Alright, and now we got 4Ks to show you, which first three came from the Criterion Flash sale. Yeah, this is. I watched this on HBO during COVID, and it's fantastic. No, stop making sense, but glad to have it. I hope I can see David Byrne live at some point. That man puts on a hell of a show. Stats. Yeah, I'm so happy that this finally got a physical release in the US. Oh, wait. Let's put the booklet back in. This is what really broke the sale. I saw this movie in IMAX, and it was really good. Yeah, some cool artwork. Oh, that's a cool touch. I'm so glad Apple finally caved and decided to release this. Yeah, it's like this on both sides. Unless it isn't. Stupid discs come out. Yeah, so. Alright, we got one more criterion for now. And I saw this movie in like film school. The professor showed us this in my screenwriting class, and it's a really good movie. Glad Criterion released it. It's under that side. Man, who wasn't there? Yeah, I usually wouldn't get the 4K unless it was a digipack with that or American Utopia, but I decided just to just get it for some reason. And I got two more, which are actually my two favorite movies of last year, so glad to have these. Number two, which also came from the A24 store. Yeah. The orange 4K and the white Blu-ray. Yeah. There's yeah, A24 puts out some cool releases, but it kind of sucks that the Lionsgate deal ended because Lionsgate seemed to release all their movies and A24 doesn't. Like every time I go on Reddit, people are always like, "Oh, where's Sorry Baby?" But I think Sorry Baby will get a release. Maybe from, if not A24, then Criterion maybe could. See that. And I got one more, which is kind of saved the best for last. This is my favorite movie of last year. This is really hard to find online, but stores in my area had it, and that is this beauty right here. Yeah. Shout out to Barnes and Noble for having this for real. I put a request on it so they could keep it, and they did. I actually went to Smith's Marketplace today, and they actually had two copies of this steelbook, so that's pretty crazy. But yeah, I'm so glad I didn't have to have a bare bones edition without paying like an arm and a leg. But yeah, inside. And that's it for this update video. Hopefully it will not take 6 months for the next one, because I already got a bunch of stuff today, but I'm gonna save that for after, so thanks for watching, and yeah, stay safe out there. Peace and love forever.